What is going on, everybody? This is your boy Rob with the Conscious, aka Conscious Moron. Of course, we know that Trump went on Joe Rogan last night. We're going to look at some highlights or some lowlights, of course. We might look at it, but I just thought some of them was funny. Let's start out. Top, I'm sorry, y'all. That last one was a doozy I was reading. But they on Joe Rogan. Let's look.
The smartest people, they hate when I say, when the press.
And it come in. I can't hear nothing.
With all of it, Russia would have never gone in.
Well,
we're dealing with the smartest people. They hate when I say, when I call President Xi, they said he called President Xi brilliant. Well, he's a brilliant guy. He controls 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. I mean, he's a brilliant guy, whether you like it or not. And they go crazy.
Right. It doesn't mean he's not evil, or it doesn't mean he's not.
Yeah, of course not.
Dangerous.
But actually, we have evil people in our country.
Yes.
If you have a smart president, he can deal with Russia. He can deal with all of it. Russia would have never gone into Ukraine if I were president.
Well, I also
we're dealing with the smartest people. Overall, I'll give you another one.
Are you going to present this ever?
Oh, I think he asked him.
We could go into this stuff. We could go into the ballots, or we could go into the overall. I'll give you another one.
Are you going to present this ever? Do you think like?
Let me just give you one more before.
Hold on. I got to work.
51.
Do you think like? Do you think like? Do you think like?
Let me just give you one more before. 51. We could go into this.
This is. They talk about this in the coach. You couldn't wait 4 hours in freezing cold Traverse City. Fuck off. I don't need your votes. I was hanging out with Joe Rogan, who's much cooler than you anyway. I hate. That's so mean. Let's see. Trump continued to grow debate. Let's see. What is this saying?
They were dying. They were.
So it's your belief that if you had a second term, given the policies in place, the way the economy was booming, that you would have been able to pay off a lot of the debt. And that was the strategy. If we didn't have
COVID, we would have been paying off debt, and we would have had. And don't forget, by growth, the word growth is actually more important in a way, because you could have the same debt, but if you doubled your growth, all of a sudden you're under-levered. But still, we should pay off debt. They were dying.
Okay, it's a few more. What is it? Okay.
I don't believe it's this much, but it doesn't have to. I won by I lost by I didn't lose, but they say I lost, Joe. They say I lost by 22,000 votes. And I'm standing in the White House. And it was very, very surreal. That room was so beautiful to me, much more beautiful than it actually is. To me, when I looked at the bed, and the bed, you could see it was a little bit longer, had to be a little bit longer. He lost his son, and they suffered. The two of them suffered from melancholia. They didn't call it depression. They called it melancholia, and they suffered from it. He was a very depressed guy, and involved with approximately 10,000 appointments. So you'll appoint a Secretary of State, and he or she will appoint a lot of people. So it's a lot. But in terms of major ones, you probably have like 100, but they're big ones. Treasury, state, military.
And how did you know who to appoint?
Well, I didn't. I had no experience. You have to understand. Joe.
So
I was there 17 times in one. But the president really is involved with approximately 10,000 appointments.
I want to show y'all one more thing before we get on there. There we go. This is it.
I want to talk about 2020, because you said over and over again that you were robbed in 2020.
Yeah, totally.
How do you think you were robbed? Everybody always cuts you off. I'm going to
They
allow.
do. Well, they not
Now listen to this answer. Fair use. Don't hit me, Joe.
only cut you off. Well, what I'd rather do is we'll do it another time, and I would bring in papers that you would not believe. So many different papers. That election was so crooked. It was the most crooked election.
Okay, but give me some examples of how.
Well, let's start on
Okay.
the top and the easy ones.
Okay.
They were
Easy.
supposed to get legislative approval to do the things they did, and they didn't get it in many.
This is a moment right here in American history, because if you know the Constitution, it says that each state determines how their elections run for the federal elections. That's kind of the linchpin. So no one is hacked because we all have the same system. But we'll continue. This is a lot of the things that when I'm on TikTok, I find that a lot of MAGA folks don't realize how government actually operates and the functionality of it and such.
Many cases they didn't get it.
What things?
Anything. When they
Legislative
made,
approval
like
of,
for extensions of the voting, for voting earlier, for this,
Right.
for all different things. By law, they had to get legislative approvals. You don't have to go any further than that. If you take a look at Wisconsin, they virtually admitted that the election was rigged, robbed, and stolen. They wouldn't give access in certain areas to the ballots because the ballots weren't signed. They weren't originals. We could go into this stuff. We could go into the ballots, or we could go into the overall. I'll give you another one.
Are you going to present
Well,
this
let me-
ever?
I've never.
Like, what do you think? Like,
Let me just give you one
Okay,
more
go ahead.
before. 51 intelligence agents come up that the laptop was from Russia. It turned out to be totally false.
51
wasn't.
former intelligence agents, right?
They say that made, I don't believe it's this much, but it doesn't have to. I lost by I didn't lose, but they say I lost, Joe, they say I lost by 22,000 votes. That's like 1/10 of 1%, less than that. It's a tiny little thing. 22,000 votes spread over this period. So 51 intelligence agents lied. They lied. They knew it was Hunter's. It was from his bed. It was Hunter's laptop. They said it was created by Russia. Russia. It was the Russia
Right.
hoax.
Do you understand what I be saying? Like, he doesn't know anything that he is talking about. And there's much more clips. I think if you're going to be smart, you need to watch them. You need to watch the full podcast yourself. It is entertaining. If you like podcasts, you'll definitely be entertained. But it's sad at the same time to watch the fall of MAGA right before our eyes. But it is inevitable. I mean, when you put all of your resources into one thing and it fails you, what do you expect to happen? But as in always, I have to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for the support. I know I have been lagging, especially here on YouTube. TikTok has kind of been fun and exciting too. But I promise that I will get back to the YouTube family, especially. And we're going to have to start ramping it up. I think because we're going to do an early election video. So, I think that's going to be the rebranding or the reintroduction of myself to the YouTube community again. Like I've been here, but you know what I mean? But I need to come back home in a sense, because this is why I started off my podcasting thing. But we are about to get out of here. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to make this video, see what I can do, how far I can go in with my phone to record the process. But as in closing, remember, without you, there is no more Rob. Thank you so much for joining. And y'all remember to hit like, subscribe, and share. I know I always forget to say that. Y'all have a nice day.